If I traded it all.
Welcome back, everyone. My next guest has also been on with me many, many, many times, at least over a year or two now. I have with me David Fischer. He's CEO of Landmark Capital. We are live on Facebook. Everybody that's listening in, like us also. You can call in for any of these things that you're hearing to at 602-277-5369. David, I got to talk to you. First of all, I want you to tell, I always have to have everybody hear a little bit about you, but also that you want to tell them how many radio shows you're on. You're doing lots and lots of things to help people. Please tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I'm a CEO and president of Landmark Capital, and which is a precious metal company, but I really talk about economics. Currently, I do several national radio shows. Somewhere around 3 million people hear me every week, over 800 stations.
You got the bug.
I just got another phone call from a gentleman who has a radio program, a talk show host that's on about 200 stations, and he's wanting me to come on. So it seems as time goes on, there's somebody that's somehow hearing about me.
I wonder how.
It's not about me, but it's about what I say.
Right.
And we make our presentation to help people be empowered with knowledge and education. It's all about helping people, and that's really the heartbeat of our company, because we have a saying in my company, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
That's
and really,
awesome.
That's who we are. And so caring is shown in different ways, and I believe one of the best ways of showing that, not just saying it, is empowering a person to know what's going on. So that, because we believe if a person is given the right facts and can weed through all the media, and as President Trump would say, what's fake news versus real news? What is the real news? What are some of the real market factors that are driving the markets and things like that? And we talk about those things on national radio and also on your program.
Well, here's what I love is that we don't have to do it. We can listen to you, because that's what you do. And you can help anyone nationwide. But I also want to make it very clear that you're not here. It's not about a scare tactic or anything like that. Also, really what you've made extremely affordable for people to take possession of their own money, their own gold in their hands.
There's lots of different ways you can invest in gold, but you can do it principally either inside of retirement, like inside a 401k or an IRA, or an outside of that vehicle. When you do it inside of retirement, most trustees like Merrill Lynch and Charles Schwab, they look at you like a deer in a headlight. Like, how does that work? It's not their area of expertise. They have a lot of area of expertise in other areas, but gold is not their thing. That is my area of expertise. I've been doing this for 25 years, and you can roll over your 401k or your IRA into a self-directed retirement plan and buy physical gold and silver and take possession of it. Hold it in your hands. Yes, everybody hearing me, that's correct, without a tax liability. And there's a way that legally you can do this. It's approved by the IRS, and we've wrote white papers on it. I have reports on it. I use a very cost-effective attorney here that I've used for 6 years now, and he charges $385 outside of, if you're outside the state of Arizona, and if you're inside the state of Arizona, it's $350. So this is very cost-effective compared to my competitors that charge their legal fees are somewhere between $995 to almost $2,000.
So he made it very affordable for people. We're going to let everybody get this information from him. You can call his office. They have people there that are standing by. Mm-hmm. You can get the information on how to do all of this. Also, his white paper that he wrote, all sorts of information. And I'm going to let you hear him now, because I love when David talks. I really do. His website is landmarkgold.com, and the phone number to call direct at 602-287-9200. Okay, so let's talk about what's going on in the market. I'm not even going to go here. You go ahead and talk.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this. On Monday is a very historic event. Passed another milestone, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
I'm referring to 16 years post 9/11.
Right. It was a special day.
It was a very special day. It caused us all to pause. On the flip side of that, something else happened on a real significant level for our country. It's not even being talked about. Guess what that might be?
I'm not sure. I was going to say...
Think about money. Think about money in our government. What has happened here recently?
The ceiling. The debt ceiling.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else happened in reference to that? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I mean, no one ever knows.
Okay.
Because we don't watch the news.
$20 trillion. We surpassed the $20 trillion mark.
You said that was going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I've said a lot of things on your program that has happened, like we're going to be a bull market in stocks and bull market in gold this year, and we're clearly in both. Okay, we passed a very historic event. Actually, it was on last Friday, the 8th, but I'll call it early this week when the markets opened up on Monday. We surpassed $20 trillion. Let's go back down memory lane pre-2001. Would you ever have thought somebody saying in 16 years when the debt was $5.5 trillion, that somebody would come along and say it's going to be almost 4 times as great, 3.7 times greater in the next 15, 16 years?
Why do we not think about that? Why do we as people walk around not thinking about that? I mean, we know it. We ourselves know how much we're in debt, right? I mean, individually,
yeah.
But we don't really think about our country.
Because we don't think it's ever going to catch up with us.
Because we think that they're just going to keep on making money and it's going to be okay.
Okay, and we have printed money and made money. So think about that. Would you ever think the largest buyer of our debt is China?
No.
In 2001, they held $8.2 trillion. Would you ever have thought that I told you, 15 years from now, the country that's the largest buyer of our debt, that holds over $8 trillion, is going to sell 70% of it in the next 16 years?
No.
That's what happened. They're around $3.5 trillion. Some say it's under 3. They're just not reporting it. Would you ever think that would tell you that the Federal Reserve, which is the fifth largest buyer in 2001 of our debt, would become number 1 buyer of our debt?
No.
How about this? Would you believe if I said, hey, in 2000, we're talking in 2000 right now, if I said, Carol, if I could find a market for you that's real, that you can hold it in your hands, and it's going to outperform the Dow Jones Industrial Average 4 times as much, would you invest in it?
Mm-hmm. I think so, if it's real.
Yeah.
If I know it's real and I can hold, did you say I can hold it in my hands?
Hold it in your hands.
Yes. If I know, because then I have it.
Okay.
Why do people, okay, go ahead.
That market I'm referring to is gold.
Right.
Gold was $253 in 1999 when the Dow was 10,800 points. The Dow's 22,000 today. Gold's 1331 today. Gold's gone up 428% when the Dow's gone up 102%.
So gold isn't unsafe.
No, but see, here's what happened when it was 253. On the front page of the Wall Street Journal in 1999, it said gold has lost its luster. It was the very bottom of the market. Wall Street doesn't understand gold. I was just talking with a person in Georgia that called me, heard me on a national radio station, picked up the phone, called me, got our packet, says, I want to invest in gold. Says, I bought a little silver before, I don't quite understand. We started the educational process. We started talking. He wanted me to talk with his financial planner. This gentleman's worth, he's a very nice gentleman, worth several millions of dollars. He wanted to roll over 2 accounts, which was not all his money, not even a big portion of it. And I told him what was going to happen in advance. I said, he's going to, this person who has fiduciary, you know what that
yes,
word
I
is?
know.
Ryan was just on your program
right.
talking about
right.
how fiduciary is in his best interest.
Uh-huh.
So we had this big, long conversation. We compared notes. Basically, we were at 2 different places saying 2 different things to this gentleman. But the numbers are numbers, okay? Gold, he's been with him for only 3 months, and his portfolio has gone up 2.9% in 3 months, while the index, if you amortize it out, while in the same period of time, gold has gone up 5.3%. So gold's gone up about 2/3 more, and this gentleman says, I'm not representing his best interest. This is how Wall Street is trained. I'm not putting down Wall Street. I'm just saying, I'm answering your question in a roundabout ways. Wall Street does not understand gold. And any type of movement on gold upward, even when it outperforms stocks, they don't like it.
Well, we're going to go to a break, and my mouth has been like sort of open, like I don't even know what to say next type of thing. I personally think everyone should do this whether or not the market's good or bad. I want possession of my own, my gold. I want it in my hand. Check it out. It's landmarkgold.com. The number to call, 602-287-9200. They're waiting for your calls.
if I traded it all. If I
Welcome back,
gave it
everyone. We're talking with David Fischer. He's the CEO of Landmark Capital. I've been talking to you a little bit at the break. I implore everyone, I believe everyone should do this. Please call his office. They're standing by, and they will answer your questions. They do free consultations. They're all about educating you guys. That's what he's all about. He's been coming on the show for many years, basically just doing that. And it's not to scare you. It's saying, well, like I was saying, why wouldn't anybody want to do this? But let me give out the information, because you can get his white paper that he wrote about all of this, also about how to take possession, how to take it possession in your own hands. It's very affordable for everybody to do. He can work with anybody nationwide. Also, everybody that's listening to us Facebook Live out there, if you want to call in, you can also call in or call his office now. It's 602-287-9200. It's landmarkgold.com. So at the break, I asked you, I said, I do not understand, and there's a lot of people out there that have portfolios. Lots of them have big money in their portfolio. Some of them don't. Why doesn't everybody just do this? It's taking possession of something that you actually have physically in your hand.
Why didn't everybody leave Houston and leave Florida? Because people think there's other ways of taking care of problems in life. Mm-hmm. Not everybody evacuated. There's a big evacuation, and there will be another big evacuation happening in the stock market when we face another crisis.
But see, I just don't think, and I'm just talking to you now.
No, I know that.
So I'm just going to do that.
So here's what the psychology, human nature is. I don't want to take care of anything unless I'm forced to. That's part of it.
Okay.
So...
And I would think it would be totally the opposite.
When people are faced with a financial dilemma, when the world was melting in 2008, people were buying gold like crazy. I'm telling you, it was like,
because they were afraid.
They were afraid that they were going to lose a lot of money in stocks. There was ideas that the dollar would collapse. It wasn't going to, and I was saying the opposite back then, just like I say that today. People were not wanting to have all their money in one asset class called stocks. We're approaching the same environment. That's the ironic thing. In fact, there's a thing called investing in alpha, directing alpha. It's a conference going on in New York right now. And Ray Diallo, I've talked about him on your program. He was just speaking today. I watched the interview on CNBC. He said it's very prudent and wise. In fact, I'll say, I'm quoting him, everybody should have some gold in their portfolio. This is the guy who runs the largest hedge fund in the world. Gold is not his deal even. Stocks are. He's telling people now is the time you need to have at least 10% of your money in gold.
Again, I would say, and I'm not a financial advisor, but I just think as I listen to you, and I know I've listened to you a lot, I would think that everybody would want a little gold in their portfolio.
Exactly. So here's what happens. The person says to their financial planner or stockbroker, which a financial planner or stockbroker is just like a doctor, okay? And if you're going to have a stroke, you go to your neurologist, right? If you're going to have a heart attack, you go to your cardiologist. You do not go to your neurologist. The debt and the dollar is the heartbeat of America that keeps us ticking and working. It's the financial backing system, and both are in trouble. They go to their neurologist and ask them if they should get some gold, and yet they're going to the wrong doctor, because that doctor will tell them, no, you don't need no gold. You're fine. I got you covered. I'm watching your portfolio, blah, blah, blah. We heard all this. 98% of financial planners said those things and kept people in the market in 2008. And they lost 45 to 50% of their money. Took 6 years to recover. Most people. Okay?
And how many people have people that say that don't really watch their...
I have people that have bought gold since 2008. Morgan counting probably every listener's hands that have told me the horror story of what I just said. Mm-hmm. I'm not putting down stockbrokers or financial planners. It's just not their area of expertise. And when it's not an area of expertise, they can't comment on it and how it works. This is why I talk about, and I'm not anti-stock, I own stock myself, but I don't have all my money in stocks, and neither should have all your money in gold. You should have some in different categories, and that's what I've always recommended, no matter what the markets are doing.
Right.
I mean, if gold went crazy, and it's not, but it's outperforming stocks, you should not have all your money in gold.
But it's safe.
It is safe, and it can't go to zero, but stocks can. I'm not saying the Dow. There are stocks that have gone to the zero. I'm not saying all stocks are going to do that or a big portion of it, but it's been proven through several studies that having a percentage of your money in gold and silver is a very fruitful and thoughtful, well-educated, diversified portfolio, and it's very prudent to have those no matter what is happening in the economic environment.
Right.
Because we will face another sort of a market correction. Just today, the guy who runs Goldman Sachs, Lloyd Blankfein, said that the stock market is overheated. And the CEO of Deutsche Bank, John Cryan, has said it's overvalued. Here's two very prominent, well-respected individuals that operate in the financial world in the paper assets are saying this is going to happen. So what do? You diversify, you prepare. The debt is driving gold up. The debt went from 5.7 trillion to 20 trillion when gold was 300 and went to 1330. When the same period of time, the Dow a little over doubled. So as long as we have debt, and we are going to, in fact, President Trump wanted to remove the debt ceiling. Imagine not having a parameter of debt.
So you can just go and go and go.
Yeah, that's why we have the debt ceiling, so we wouldn't spend into oblivion. We'd have some controls on our government. And yet we've raised the debt ceiling since we created it in 1917, 84 times. On top of that, Carol, is this. The GDP to debt, in other words, percentage-wise of how much money is coming into our country to pay for bills versus our debt, we're over 100%. We're at 107%. Forget about the $100 trillion dollars of unfunded liabilities. I'm just talking about the national debt, $20 trillion. There's only one time in history that we were over 100%, and that was World War I, and we went into that because we had to spend to create manufacturing and for artillery and tanks and weapons. We fought a war, and war is good for economics. So I hate to say it this way, but if we don't deal with our debt, we might use a war to fund the debt structure of our country, unfortunately. I don't want a war, but this is what happens. That's one reason why it was very good economically for our country in 2002 through 2007. We spent $5 trillion on the Gulf War, but we employed a lot of people, and it created a lot of revenue for our country. So at the end of the day, somehow we got to take care of our debt, and there is no plan to do that.
Well, but I think at the end of the day, and I'm just going to say this, is that we have to, as a people, have to take care of ourselves. I'm sorry, but I believe in that. I just do, because we can't think about what... We have to really watch out for our own self.
The government's not going to take care of our debt.
No.
They're not going to take care of their debt, because their debt is your debt.
Right.
And that's where the bail-in comes in.
So let me ask you this. I see that you have a monthly newsletter that you might want to talk a little bit about. It's which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which came first?
I don't know. Which one came first?
Well, you know what? I don't know, because, see, I was thinking about what you were talking about, and as you were talking, you were saying how everybody should put money in there. I know you're going to laugh at me now, okay?
No, go ahead.
But anyway, so how you said that everybody should put some money into gold and all of this, and no matter what, whether or not the market is good or bad. But originally, when the world, we began, when we created, and all of a sudden they found gold. Didn't they love gold? Didn't people, the ancient people, that was all what they wanted was gold. They wanted to wear it. They put it on their, they put it on their face. I mean, everywhere. Gold
is an instrument of wealth.
Exactly.
And it's been that way for 6,000 years. So we didn't have any problem in our country, and gold was...
They like wearing it, right?
Yeah, but gold as a monetary hedge was used globally and used in the U.S. currency until 1971, when Nixon opened the gold window, and took us off a gold standard. So what happened is, when you see, that's why gold started to rally. It was $35 an ounce then, and now it's $1,300 an ounce, $1,332 today. So gold is going to continue to go up in value no matter what happens in the economy, because it costs more money to mine gold this year than it did last year.
Sure.
And 10 years from now, the mining cost cost of gold might be in $2,000. So gold will just go up because of that.
Well, I want you to, just really quickly, because we have less than a minute, just remind them how you can help them.
They can call our company at 602-287-9200, or they can go to our website at landmarkgold.com. We have a philosophy here. You don't take care of your money now, it might not be there to take care of you later. And now is the time to be looking at diversifying your portfolio, because we're going to face this debt ceiling again. But this time it's going to be over $20 trillion, and we might have a government shutdown. And that's going to be crucial.
I implore everybody to get this information. It gives you power. That's what it's going to do. It's just information. There's no obligation.
Absolutely.
It's a free consultation. You can get his white paper, also all the information about how to take possession of your gold and have it in your hands. That number to call is 602-287-9200.